Andrew McCart, iFLTV, delighted to be joined by Mr. Sam Jones himself. How are you, Sam?
1 minute. I'm just trying to find the volume. There we go.
Can you hear
I'm
me?
good, Andrew.
Can you all sound everything good?
I'm much better. I can hear you. I can hear your very loud Scottish voice now, Andrew. Perfect. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. I've got a little coffee here. There we go. Cheers, my man. Um, I thought you were going to say loud, annoying Scottish voice, but I'm glad you said loud voice, mate. That was nice of you. The reason why I got you on this morning, Sam, is obviously Big Joe Joyce, who you're very, very close with. You managed him at the early part of his career. You're good friends with him, and you've got a lot of love for Joe Joyce. Now, I just want to talk about the fight last night and then your thoughts on what's next for Joe Joyce. Before we get into what's next for Joe Joyce, just talk to me about the Hrgovic fight last night.
Uh, Look, it's always difficult. I say this every single time. I say it off camera. It's always difficult for me to speak about Joe because I love the guy. Honestly, I love him, and Joe's one of the big reasons why I, I've been able to do what I've been able to do in boxing because of my connection with Joe. God, it's nearly pushing 10 years. Um, Going to the fight, Joe's engine was there,
Mm.
right? It's not. I'm not saying it's not been there the last few fights, but it was there. Like he was able to come forward, like what he would have done in his prime. He was able to come forward and he was fit. You could see that he was in like this on the scales. Like Joe looked how he's meant to look, if that makes sense. Um, but look, at the age of 39, there's a saying. I don't know what it's called. It's like the mind is willing, but the body can't follow. Does that make sense? Or but the body won't follow. The mind is willing, but the body won't follow. And what Joe was able to do a few years ago was put the shots together, put sink shots in, like throw combinations, and he was trying. He was trying last night. Like Joe was trying to be the prime juggernaut yesterday. He was, and this is what I was trying to explain to it. It wasn't his punch resistance has gone because the shots that Zhang hit him with, he never saw. The shots that Joe can see, he take them all night. You could see that he take them all night, and Hrgovic is a spiteful puncher. I didn't score the fight, Andrew, if I'm perfectly honest with you, because for me it was not irrelevant, but like because Joe ended the fight, and whether he had have won or drawn, lost, whatever, he finished the fight on his feet, like he's, as I say, other than the Zhang fight,
Mm.
he's always been able to do. Um, and I just think, look, I've said to Joe myself, I said, there's more to life than boxing. There's more to life than boxing. He's 39, he's 40 in September. I would like to think he's made. I mean, as I say, I've not managed Joe for I don't know how long it is now. Nearly 3 years. I think it could be nearly 3 years now.
Mm.
So Joe's been involved in some big fights. You'd imagine he would have made plenty of money. I know he's bought himself a beautiful house. Um, a beautiful house. He should have accumulated plenty of money. For me, and I've never said it before because listen, I've had my opinion even since after the second Zhang fight. I want Joe to enjoy his life. I want Joe to enjoy his life. I love Joe to pieces, love him to pieces, and I'm forever grateful. I mean this. I know like sometimes I can be a joke and whatnot, but I love him to pieces with all my heart. I respect him so much. He's a warrior. He's the toughest bastard I've ever met in my life, Joe. And a prime Joe Joyce, I'm telling you now, causes any heavyweight problems. I just think that's it for me. I don't want to see Joe chip shots at 13, pushing 13. I just think that it's not up to me, Andrew. I've said to Joe myself, I've given him my opinion, but I'm proud of him. Honestly, I'm
Mm.
so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of he had an amazing amateur career. And no matter what anybody thinks of Joe, oh, he's slow. What? Look at the resume he's got. Beat Dubois, Joseph Parker. People forget he won a Commonwealth title in his third or fourth fight.
Mhm.
Joe's had an unbelievable career. I just don't. I just it's not my place to say you need to retire. It's not my place. But me as a friend and somebody that loves him to pieces, I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see that anymore. There's more to life than boxing, and health is wealth. At 40 years old, you've got your whole life. Like you've got your whole life ahead of you. Do you understand what I mean? You still got your 40s young. Do you know what I mean? 40s young nowadays, especially like, I mean, especially for you for
Yeah,
you.
well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know,
um,
Sam. I'm looking old for 40.
for me, I'm pushing it now as well. But no, but just it's hard for me to kind of get my point because it's not. I don't want to just say, oh, you need to retire. I just
Do you
I would
want
just
Joe
like
to
to.
retire? Let me rephrase this then. Let me just get a quite blunt answer from you. Do you want Joe to retire?
Yeah, I do. I just want him to, and I've never said it before. I've had my opinion for a couple of years. I've never said it, but I just want to see him go and enjoy his life, go and enjoy the fruits of your labour. He's and go and enjoy your life because at nearly 40 years old, you don't want to be having too many more of them we don't want to be having any more of them type of ding dongs.
Mhm.
Listen, some of them shots that Hrgovic hit him with yesterday were thunderous shots. Do you know what I mean? And they would have took out most heavyweights. But Joe's built differently, and he's too tough for his own good. Um, when I saw Joe had Cam Goff in his corner, in the whole time I was with Joe, that's the best I've seen Joe perform was when he was with Cam.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? He's got big Steve Broad in his corner. Love Steve. They're a team there that love him. Do you know what I mean? Steve and Cam, they think a lot of Joe. Steve was there with Joe at the very beginning. Then Joe we went to America and and then he kind of the connection with Steve was always there. But with Cam Goff has always been. He's a brilliant S&C coach, Cam. And that's when Joe performs at his best. And like I say, even yesterday, you saw with Joe, no matter what you want to criticize about him, that he shipped shots, the engine was there. The engine was there with Joe yesterday. He did 10 hard rounds and he just kept coming all night. So no one can criticize Joe. Oh, he's not been in shape or whatnot. That Joe Joyce yesterday was in prime condition, and Cam Goff is the huge part of that. Trust me. So when I saw Cam was in his corner, I felt a bit like I felt more comfortable. Honestly, I felt more comfortable. Because funny enough, right, the Dillian White fight, after what I saw with Dillian against Ebenezer, I thought, you know what, Joe could win that fight. When I saw Hrgovic step in, I thought, it's the wrong type of fight. But like I say, I didn't score the fight. Hrgovic did all the sharp work, but Joe was outworking him at times. You know what I mean? It was a very close fight. If you had it either with way, like some people I see score it for Joe, some people score it for Hrgovic. But either way, my opinion wouldn't change. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the result of yesterday. But no, I just want him to have a healthy, a happy, healthy life. You know what I mean? Pushing 40. But listen, I can't give Joe any more like respect than what I do. Like if Joe asked me for anything, and I mean anything, and he knows this, I'd be straight there for him. Do you know what I mean? Like what if he needed me to get in the car, come and get him from somewhere? He's one of the very few people in my life that I would do anything for, and he's one of them. So no, I love him, and I just hope he, as I say, he realizes what he's actually achieved, which is what some people dream to achieve in sport.
I agree, Sam. And you said that you mentioned the Dubois and Parker loss, and that's what makes the sport brutal and the best sport in the world at the same time. Is the
Yeah.
fact that you look at Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker right now, right at this point in their careers, look at them. They're probably the top two best heavyweights right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's mad.
And
It's how
then
it swings in roundabouts, isn't it?
Joe
Yeah,
Joyce
mad.
stopped both of them a couple of years ago. It's a crazy old sport. And so that respect, obviously he's made a good money. After the Parker thing, he was up in the apron with the Usyk and Tyson Fury back. But do you remember that fight when I think it was the Chisora fight? He was up in
Yeah.
the apron with Usyk, and there was talks of him fighting for a world title. There was talks of him fighting Anthony Joshua. Do you think there's a slight underachievement there, or do you think he's done everything he can in the sport?
I think Joe's not had the rub of the green really, because Joe could have quite easily got hold of a world title shot, like, or definitely a challenge for a world title, which he was never able to do, which I think he deserves, especially after the back of the Parker fight. So I think he's been a bit unlucky there. And you know what? I'm a bit gutted that he kind of missed the wave of the Saudi input. Like, do you know what I mean? The big massive super paydays and being involved in those super fights. He kind of has missed the wave for that a little bit. But look, health is more important than money, Andrew.
Yeah.
Health is more important than money. And like any fighter I'm involved with, right? And I think that people have a perception of like Joe managers and whatnot, but like, and the types of people that are involved in boxing, and there are those types of people in boxing. But if I see any fighter, I think you're not, you're not like what you once was, or like, then you ship him. I'd be the first to tell him.
Mhm.
I'd be the first to tell him. You know me, Andrew. I can't keep my mouth shut. It's a problem I've got, isn't it?
It certainly is,
um,
aye.
but no, boxing's brutal, isn't it? You met what you. That's why boxers deserve this.
Mhm.
They deserve it. So anyone that begrudges, oh, he's getting too much money, or he's getting too much money. No, bollocks. Boxers deserve the biggest purses because they make the ultimate sacrifices, making weight. Obviously, not heavyweights, but like you're away from your families. It's the countless rounds of sparring, the accumulation. You know, it all takes its toll on you. It's not a long career, boxing. It is
Mhm.
not a long career. So you have to get the most out of it you possibly can, to enjoy your life after boxing. And that's all I want to do for fighters. Get them paid as much as possible. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Honestly, get them paid as much as possible. Get them in the best fights. And then when it's time to call it a day, call it a day, and you've got a bank balance that will help you through the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's that. I agree with that statement as well. Sam, obviously, you know Joe very well. Have you spoke to him? Again, it's just still 8 o'clock in
It's
the
not the
morning.
way. It's not. Do you know with Joe, right? You can't call him. So I've sent him a personal message, and but Joe's one of those people, right? Like, do you know, even when I was working with Joe, you could ring him 10 times. He might just look at the phone and think, nah. Like, Joe's a very, Joe's a character. Joe will talk when he wants to talk, and he'll do whatever he wants to do. He'll probably read my message in 2 weeks and then send me a nice response. Like that's just Joe. That's how he's always been, by the way. But like I say, with Joe, he's one of the very few people in this world that if he asks anything of me, it's done.
Yeah, and I think quite a lot of the people, if you look at the comments and stuff like that on videos and his interview by Phil last night as well, a lot of people are calling him for to retire as well. So, um,
It's not that I'm you. Listen, Andrew. I've had my opinion for a couple of years, right? I have my opinions, and I've tried to not, because out of respect for I'm not in his team. Like, I'm his friend, but I'm not his manager. I am not Joe Joyce's manager. People still seem to think that because S Jam Boxing is got my initials in it, but I've not been involved in S Jam for, as I say, 3 years. I think it might be more. Whether it's more than that, I don't actually know. I've not had much sleep over the last 50 years, so I don't actually know. But no, I've not managed Joe for many a year. So it's not my place. Do you know what I mean? It isn't my place. But all I can do is just, like I've said, as I say, I can just be honest. Like, you've asked me a question, I just think, as I say, 39. What an amazing. He's an amazing person as well, Joe.
yeah,
He's an amazing person, great fighter, warrior. Like you will never not be in a Joe Joyce. Like last night was for if it's somebody, you're a neutral boxing fan, you would have enjoyed the fight last night. Doesn't matter if you think if it was a slow pace, or the both the guys were slow. It was two guys knocking lumps out of each other.
yeah, exactly. And it was a
As
fun
soon
fight.
as I saw Abel Sanchez, I didn't know Abel Sanchez was coaching Filip Hrgovic, but as soon as I saw Abel Sanchez was in there, like, Hrgovic looked tired after the first round. But let me tell you, Abel Sanchez, his first demand is, if you can't do 15 rounds, you're not any good to anybody. Abel Sanchez will literally make you do, like when when Joe was in Big Bear, Honestly, I remember the first day there. Golovkin was there. They were all 15 rounds, 12 to 15 rounds, 5-minute rounds. You want
Cool.
Big Bear fighters? A Big Bear. If you do a fight in Big Bear, Arnold Barboza, right? He did his camping Big Bear, not with Abel Sanchez,
Yeah.
but it's hard up there. When it's snowing, it's cold, like especially that type of year, the January in Big Bear. Oh my God, I've done it with Joe. I've done it with Joe. Like honestly, yeah, you come in there and you're fit. You there's if you're not good at boxing or whatever, but you're gonna be fit.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna be fit. So
Definitely.
but when I saw Abel Sanchez was in Filip Hrgovic's corner, I know what Abel Sanchez would have. He knows Joe inside out. Do you know what I mean? He knows Joe very well. He's got 100+ rounds of sparring of Joe on his tape in that gym in Big Bear. So I know Abel would have done all his homework with Filip sat there. So I was like, when I saw Abel was coaching Hrgovic, because listen, I love Abel as well. Like he's a legend of the sport.
Yeah, it was good to
But
see.
listen, by the way, I know Filip Hrgovic as well. I get on really well with Big Filip. I know he chat to his manager Keith Connolly. Like, good luck to Filip Hrgovic. I hope he gets a big fight, because look, there was his career was pretty much on the line yesterday.
Yeah,
If he would have lost yesterday, where does he really go? So listen, congrats to Filip.
definitely. It was a crossroads fight for both fighters. But just a couple of things before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Your thoughts on the David Adeleye TKV stoppage with the referee? I mean, these referees seem to be getting involved quite a lot of late.
Listen, I've never met Jaemie TKV. I don't think I've even ever seen him before. I don't know, I might have done, but I know David Adeleye. He used to come and spar Joe when Joe was in the Haymaker gym. So I know David when he was a young pup, but still an amateur. When he was just a year before he was going to turn pro, and Dave was always a cheeky chap, good, but he's a great kid, David. I know, like he put the banging on the table and stuff, but David, if you meet him, he's actually a really charming, lovely kid. And I was rooting for him because he's the one I'm the closest to,
Yeah.
so I was rooting for David. But you've got to be honest, and listen, you can't blame David for doing what he
No.
did, because if you can get away with something like that, you're gonna get away with it, and it happens in the clinch. But I don't know about. I heard the referee say break. He literally held his glove and said break, and David chinned him. In heavyweight, especially in heavyweight boxing, you've got to be honest. It's pretty dangerous
Mm.
because he effectively had a free dig on TKV's chin, and when you're getting a free dig as a heavyweight, it's dangerous. Um, I just see, like, listen, if there's a meeting or there's an appeal, it's going to be very hard to watch that on replay and not either call an immediate rematch, even though it wasn't a great spectacle. You've got to. I'm just speaking it as from what I'm watching it as a neutral, not because I'm closer to David or know David, but it, it, he chinned him on the break. He chinned him when the referee touched his glove and went break. Everyone could hear it.
They
It
just touched
wasn't
his
that
glove. He
loud.
pulled his
It
glove.
wasn't that loud in there because it wasn't the greatest of fight.
Uh,
So when you very clearly heard the referee shout break, and then David hit him and chinned him on the break, which was, you've got to be honest, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. So there's no way that there's no way that someone's looking at that, or if there is an appeal, which I'm sure there's going to be, where you don't look at that and think Jaemie's been really hard done by there, because he was in front in the fight, in my opinion. Even though it was not the best fight to watch, but Jaemie's jab was going. He was landing his jab at Will. He had a really good jab. I was liking what he was doing. That's not to say David wouldn't have jumped all over him in the end, and because he did look the fitter of the two. David, he looked the fitter of the two. So who's to say David wouldn't have chinned him anyway? But listen, David did what he had to do. But if I'm looking after Jaemie TKV, I'm fuming. I'm fuming.
Ben
So
Davison was fuming. You saw Ben Davison, he was fuming.
I didn't. Yeah. We rightfully so. Rightfully so. So look, if there's an appeal, there's only going to be one decision made, in my opinion, because it's just so obvious. It wasn't like it was loud and David didn't hear the break. He just cracked him. Like he put his glove on his hand and he cracked him. But listen, it's boxing, isn't it? But like I say, if I'm Jaemie TKV's manager, trainer, promoter, I'm fucking fuming at that.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, one final one, Sam, as well. You signed a very good amateur that I even knew was an outstanding amateur from keeping my ears to the ground and watching the amateur scene. Adam Maka. Now, you've signed him. I know how good he is, but for people that don't follow the amateur scene, how good is this kid?
Do you know what I'm going to do, Andrew? Do you know what I'm going to do? Because a lot of the times, I sign a fight, and I don't sign fighters often, as people know. I don't sign fighters often. I've got a good handful of fighters. You tell people how good he is, Andrew, because you know amateur boxing,
Uh-huh.
and people will actually listen to what you're saying. I'm not going to overly endorse him because when he's unleashed, 18 years old, he's not even he's going to be 18 years old when he makes his debut. He's going to make his debut in one of the best cities in the world, by the way,
Mhm.
right? 18 years old. The floor's yours, Andrew.
Listen, outstanding amateur. I don't know his medal haul, but I'm pretty sure he's won a good few medals. And he's only lost to very good fighters on the world scene. And he's number one in not just England, but the in Britain at his weight. What weight is he? He's quite light, isn't he?
He's gonna start at bantamweight.
Bantamweight. I thought he was a
But if
featherweight.
you ask anybody, this isn't without me because I'm not doing it today, Andrew. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But if you ask anybody in the circuit, he's
Uh-huh.
one of the most sought after fighters in the world. Everybody wanted to sign him. Promoters, managers, everybody wanted to sign him. He's gonna do big things.
Has
I'm
he
not
got?
gonna overdo it. It's just gonna surprise you all.
Let me just say, is Frank and Eddie? What's happening with there? Has he got a signature from them yet?
News to be revealed very soon. Debut penciled in, Andrew McCart.
Right, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna try and beat it because listen, I can't remember who he fought. Who did the Adam Maka fight? He fought a kid I knew, and I can't remember when I first.
Leighton Birchall.
That's it.
Two brilliant
Yeah,
fighters.
yeah, yeah.
Look, Leighton Birchall's a brilliant fighter. He's training with Joe Mack
Yeah.
and Andrew, and they respect each other because they've had two brilliant. I think they've had a couple of brilliant fights together. But Leighton Birchall, big fan of him as well. Brilliant, brilliant fighter, and he's good.
And Paul Smith as well. That's when I saw him beat Paul Smith.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Oh, Paul
but
Smith.
yeah, Adams. Listen, I'm not going to do it this time. I'm not going to do it because I know people go, he's just saying this again. You look at the promo video, by the way, that I directed, by the way.
You directed it.
Call me Peter Jackson.
No limit
But
to your
no,
talent, Sam. There's no limit.
yeah, exactly. I'm not just a daft chubby fella, am I? But no, big debut locked in, massive promotional agreement locked in. He's the truth, trust me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna listen. I'll probably back you up on that 100%. He's a very, very talented young man. But Sam, thank you so much for jumping on this Sunday morning, as always. I hope you have a blessed Sunday, and no doubt I'll catch you very, very soon at some point. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Andrew. See you
Cheers,
later, brother.
Sam.
Bye bye, mate.
Bye bye, mate. Bye bye.